So women who date those types of guys, can they expect that type of successful multi-millionaire, whether he's a professional basketball player, professional medical doctor, to stay faithful?
I don't know if you can that has always been the issue and the challenge with me is because number one, when you are performing at such a high rate in terms of what you do to acquire money, your mind needs a bit of fantasy to relax.
Oh, you understand? And you're okay with that?
Am I okay with that? Not for where I am in my life, like where I'm not. I understand it, and I can see how, this is how you need to distress and how you like to entertain yourself, and sometimes how monogamy can really feel like monotony to you, and I understand these things. But in terms of like, I also, my boys, I have 2 boys, they're 9 and 11, so it's very, very important that I, one, do not degrade what it means to create a family just because you're an economic provider. You understand? I cannot undermine what their father is in terms of, how they contribute to their lives in terms of manhood just because you're economically, stable. That's just one part of it. And I think women who preach hypergamy and all of that, they're not really looking into, who this man is and what he has to do to relax. You understand? I don't think people who go after, they say I'm into hypergamy, they don't consider what this person who makes that amount of money, the amount of intelligence they have, the amount of genius they have, how hard they work. And if they decide they're only going to focus on you, it really requires an intense amount of focus because literally there's women, throwing themselves at them in abundance, and the doctor, the lawyer, even just an attractive man who makes 6 figures.
Let's talk about this attractive man over here. This guy, look, Nick Sarnicola. Google this guy. This guy was making a ton of money in your business. Hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. Fair to say?
Oh, yeah.
How the fuck did you stay faithful, or did you not?
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay. Walk us through that. By the way, you're from Michigan. You moved to Miami.
Yeah. First of all, you're an outstanding human.
Thank you.
Like, just very eloquent. Very eloquent.
Thank you.
Well, I moved to California when I was 20.
Okay.
And on the journey of the industry I was in, it was just all about leadership. So I went on a 10-year accidental case study of leadership. And first it was like how-tos, and then it became this person on leadership, JFK on leadership, Lincoln on leadership. And then it became reading the biographies of world-changing leaders, past and present. And unfortunately, the more I learned about history and the more I learned about present-day leadership, there was a few things that were in common with all of them, and that was their lack of monogamy. And I don't know whether that is whether that's DNA or whether that's what's happening hormonally because of, as she just referenced, just the fucking drive. And I don't know what
the Genghis Khan factor is what I like to call it.
I don't know what I don't know what causes it. I'm not a scientist.
I think most people don't account for the fact that sexual energy is creative energy.
Yep.
It is creative. So the more creative you are, the more sexual you are. So when you are asking a man to harness that amount of creative energy and he actually gets compensated for how creative he actually is, it can't be undermined. So when you get a man in a family situation, because what he's doing outside of that is what and then I have some arguments that men, wealthy men, however we define wealth here, they really have to love a woman versus a woman. She has to care for you. She has to be there for you, but she's probably not getting sexual, things thrown at her, on a just all the time. It's not in an abundance.
From the husband or from other guys?
No, just from women. Like, I mean, maybe 4 or 5 guys may hit on me, whatever, in a week or slide into my DMs.
I feel like it's the exact opposite way. What do you mean?
I think it's the opposite too. I'm with you.
Why do you say it's opposite? I feel like women get hit on all the time.
Not more than wealthy men.
No, I think it's much easier for a woman. I mean, I would say like you go.
They probably don't know you're wealthy.
If you take like,
they probably see my kids. They're like, man.
Oh, they do it.
If you take an attractive woman and you take an attractive man and you put them out in the world, I mean, and you have them interact, bar setting, whatever it may be, same caliber of income, I guarantee you that woman's going to have more DMs. That woman's going to have more guys, because guys are trained hopefully, when they're young to approach women. Like, you know, if you want to make something happen, you got to make it happen. Women are often told to sit back, and they're told, oh, let the guy come and do it. Let the guy introduce that. Let the guy. So because of that, just by nature of that training, you're going to be inclined to approach women more. So, I mean, I worked in media, like, listen, my head was exploding a little bit on this cheating stuff, Adam. You know that. But I worked in media.
What do you mean? Why was it exploding?
Well, because cheating is a decision. It's not, it's a decision that you make. Like, I was hearing what you were saying. I appreciate it. I disagree in many respects. I worked in media for a very long time. I hosted at Fox. I hosted The View. I had many men in very wealthy positions with a lot of prestige, with big microphones, all calibers, come to me, actors, musicians, executives, on-air hosts. And even when I had met Jeremy, it's really funny because I had met him and he's he's a smart guy. He went to Rice University. He's very capable. He's a hard worker. He was young. The first young guy I ever dated, by the way. The first boyfriend I ever had was 13 years older than me. I always went older. He's the exception. And I remember even one day sitting on a panel with Luke Perry, who was my childhood heartthrob. I was like,
90210, are we
my
kidding?
heartthrob. And he surprised me on my birthday. He came to the show and I was like, Jeremy and I had just started going out. And I just looked at him in the audience and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm really just not even into this. Like, I think it really depends on who you are, what stage of life you're at, and how you were raised. Like, I was raised that you wait until you don't get married to just anybody. You wait and you find that person that you're just kind of turns your world around. And if you're going to cheat, if you're inclined to cheat, there's something wrong in that marriage. End it. End it like a relationship. Go and end it.
So you're saying that you should just end a marriage if you cheat?
I'm saying that if you are inclined to cheat, right? If you're saying, okay, in order for me to stay in this marriage, I need to cheat. If that's your justification, you need to go, you need to figure out what's wrong in that marriage. You need to work at that marriage, particularly if you have children involved. You need to try your best to fix that. If then you decide you can't, don't go cheat on that partner. Separate. It's not going to work. Don't be disrespectful unless your partner doesn't care and says, hey, I don't care if you sleep around or you've got some type of situation going on like that. Cheating is never going to end well. It's just you're not going to feel good about it. Your partner's not going to feel good about it. It's not a decision.
There's no argument.
If a woman cheats, it takes a lot more for a woman to cheat. A woman has to have a major emotional investment to cheat. A guy will just go bang a girl because she's got a big booty. Or like
I hate to tell you, there's a lot of girls. I don't know like what's going on in Miami. There's a lot of girls in New York City that cheat, that have that energy you're talking about, and they cheat, and it's physical, and they're not madly in love.
You're saying that it's 100% physical, not emotional?
It's physical. They're bored.
They're more masculine.
They're bored.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They're not having sex at home with their husbands. They're bored. They love their families. They're not looking for a whole new life, but they want to feel good. Women have sexual energy too. They want fulfillment. They want to be.
All of us have sexual energy.
And some women want that. They're going for that, and they're not going to look to see whether you're calling them the next day. The stereotype is that the woman falls madly in love with somebody else, and it's all about emotion, and they're cheating because they're all no. Sometimes it's not. There are women out there that it is physical. They need that satisfaction, and they don't want to leave their husband.
And if their husband finds out, what happens next?
Well, if he's got any integrity, then he should say, "I'm out. I'm out. I'm done." I would never tolerate cheating. That's one thing. And when I got married, I went into it saying, "Listen, there's a lot of ups and downs we're going to have. There's a lot of things that are going to go on. We're probably going to have a kid. It's going to be hard." Cheating, I'm done. That's not for me. I'm done. So he knew that, but you got to explain that. And listen, no hatred for you that it happened. No disrespect. I don't know your situation. Everybody's got their own situation.
Of course.
Everybody, and he was the first to chime in and say it doesn't end well.
Well,
so
explain your situation. Explain what happened.
Well, there's so many paths that you just went down. First of all, has anyone read Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel?
No.
She's the leading authority in sex therapists, couples therapists in the world.
Nice.
I strongly
Sounds
recommend.
like you were assigned that book.
No, I found it. No, I went and found it. I went and found. Yeah, I went and found her. And I was just like, wow. And she explains both sides really eloquently. So I recommend anybody read it. Single, married, divorced. In any case. You reference a lot of ideology, right? You reference like, well, if they're raised well, my parents are still married 45 years later. My grandparents were married, so I was raised really fucking well.
Yeah.
But is it possible that I was raised well, but I'm non-monogamous? And is it possible I didn't understand I was non-monogamous until years into a marriage? until I'm already now doing things that go, wait, am I doing this because I'm not in love? No, I'm fucking madly in love, like insanely in love.
That was true.
Am I doing this because I don't have money or power? No, I've got a lot of it. Am I doing this because I don't have enough attention? No, I got it. So I'm still in this discovery phase myself.
So what have you
right?
discovered? So just because I appreciate you sharing with us.
Yeah.
Like, you loved your wife.
Oh, I still do. She's amazing.
Okay. You have 2 beautiful kids together.
Yeah.
You were making a ton of money.
Yep.
You enjoyed your life.
Yep.
There was nothing on paper that says that you should be cheating. By the way, your wife was gorgeous too. Like, just
Yep.
add that on top of that. So what was like, all right, I'm in Miami. Is it just that so many options and flavors out there that, or what was it? Because it must have been something to make you say, because there's a difference between looking and touching.
Sure.
So what was like, and then once you did it the first time and you got away with it, you're like, all right, let's roll the
that's a
dice
great
and go
question.
for time number 2. So
Number
explain
one,
that.
nothing to do with Miami. In fact, we lived in Miami, so I was always on my best behavior in Miami, right? So it's like, had nothing to do with Miami.
So it was when you're on the road.
It's when you know, here's how I relate it. If you think you're a non-monogamous person, it's kind of like maybe you think you're gay and you're like, I don't really know. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to communicate it. I don't know how to, but it's
How do you
inside
know?
you.
How do you know if you don't try?
Right? So it's
That
like
whole thing.
it's almost like you're in this like closet, right? How do I say this? People are going to judge me. People are going to, and then you start experiencing like, fuck, okay, I think this is the case. Now what? I grenade my marriage, my company, my children, how do I approach this? What's next? Right. And
Well, just to be clear, you thought that you're like, I don't believe in monogamy, but you found that out after you were married with kids and all the success.
I would say that the seed was already there.
Okay.
And I was so extremely behaved. I didn't even date in my 20s. All I did was work, $100 a week. I fucking just did nothing but build wealth. And I was with someone for 4 years, met my ex-wife right in the middle of it. She was engaged. I was 4-year relationship. We fell in love. We got married. Right.
How soon?
So we fell in love while we were both still in our relationships, moved in together, got engaged, got married, and then right into a child. It was bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
So that doesn't
2 children, 9 and 6.
It doesn't remove that seed of, oh shit, this all just happened so fast. I've never even dated.
So if you like that clip, click right here to watch another, or if you want to watch the entire Saucecast, click right here.